what has happened in the last 5 years since COVID that we should take note of. And I mention this just because we're coming up to 5 years of having the wrap running. Episode 260 will be that. So back in those days, everyone fled the cities during the lockdown. Now they're packing their bags and moving back. And this is what effect it has had on the property market for your information so you can make better buying decisions. Okay, it's the great urban comeback, as we say. During lockdown 2021, Londoners left the city in droves, looking for bigger houses, outdoor space. Coastal and countrysides, towns like Cornwall, Devon, the Lake District, saw record demand. Less than 50% of London buyers were looking to stay in the capital. Today, London is back and the most searched location on Rightmove. 58% of London buyers now want to stay put, a clear reversal of the pandemic trend. Coastal homes are taking longer to sell, an average of 73 extra days compared to 73 days in total compared to 52 days. The seaside price growth has cooled sharply, plus 1% year on year compared to 4.5% during the boom. Okay, so what can you take away from that? Cities are attractive again, that's all cities, not just London, while demand in holiday hotspots has slowed.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you're enjoying this piece of content and would like to find out more about buying property and our key 10 steps to doing so, then pop your details in the link below somewhere and grab a copy of our book, 10 Steps to 10K, the Expat Property Playbook. Enjoy.
First-time buyers, what's their experience? Mixed fortunes. Wages have risen by around 30% since 2020, theoretically boosting borrowing power, but sky-high rents, up 42% since the start of the pandemic, are making it harder than ever to save for a deposit. Mortgage costs have surged too, with the average 5-year fix now at 4.73%, up from a 2.15% pre-COVID. Monthly payments for a typical first-time buyer have jumped by £389 compared to 5 years ago. What's the takeaway on that? You have more income on paper, but in the real world, the affordability is less. Space is still at a premium. Larger homes, especially semi-detached, detached houses and bungalows, still outperform smaller properties on price growth. Buyers are still prioritising garages, gardens and rural locations over inner city flats. Okay, most searched terms, 2025, garage, annex, rural, garden, acre. 2020, garage, acre, land, rural, annex. So virtually the same, just slightly different perspectives, different priorities. Renters' priorities have shifted slightly. Pets remain the number one keyword. Energy bills are stabilised, so bills included is no longer a top search term. Parking has climbed the list, reflecting post-pandemic lifestyle changes. Want to get out of town at the weekends. Takeaways from this: desire for space and flexibility has emerged in 2020, has stuck. It's now just merging back into urban living. People want more of a lifestyle choice as opposed to just work, work, work. What this means then for buyers and sellers? For coastal sellers, they need to be realistic with pricing. Properties are taking longer to sell and buyers have more choice. Also be very careful whereabouts you're buying. You know, the South Coast used to be a gimme. Now prices down there are 15, 20% down in some locations, and you can't give it away. So it's a buying opportunity if you're willing to wait for the long game. From a city seller's perspective, the benefit of rising demand means urban homes are attracting more competitive offers. Once again, it's going well in the cities. So as ever, you know, it's pie, population, infrastructure, employment. Where are those things growing most? In the cities. Buy there. As long as it's a good city, okay? It's no good buying in a rubbish city. Buy ones that have got strong fundamentals. For buyers, 2025 is increasingly a buyer's market. More homes are on the market, less intense competition, and more room to negotiate, particularly in rural and seaside areas that were overheated during the pandemic. The takeaway is there's a growing opportunity for buyers willing to look where others aren't. The other point is on the first-time buyers, they're looking to buy into the second steppers, i.e. not go straight into the first property and then trade up, but go straight into the second step. So they need even more money to do that because they want to embrace this prioritising life over work scenario. So overall, what's the summary? The race of space left a lasting impact on what buyers want. Bigger homes, gardens, flexibility, but city life is back in the spotlight. First-time buyers are caught between rising wages and unaffordable living costs. Meanwhile, the smart money may be on areas that overheated during the pandemic and are now cooling off. Hence, South Coast is not a bad idea. Those sort of locations. That's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Ended with a few questions and a few comments as ever. Jed510, I think we've had him before. They've done it because we're in a severe recession and they need liquidity urgently. The FCA don't give a monkey's about mortgages being affordable, as proven in the last 17 years. I think you're probably right. They've done it because they want to keep, it's politically driven. They want to keep the property market going. If property market goes, with the number of homeowners we've got in the UK, that'll keep people happy, which is pretty sad, and it's politically driven, so not too good. Next quote is, if you're not an expat and live in the UK, do you still help with sourcing properties that stack up to be a good deal, or do you strictly provide services to expats? No, I was speaking to a gentleman this morning who's working for Ernst & Young in London. We're helping him find properties around the UK. So it's an ongoing thing. We can do onshore or offshore. Just get in touch and let us know. And finally, Marcus H. With higher amounts and more available mortgage cash under these new rules, does it translate to higher house prices across the market, or only the higher end homes? No, it's the whole cross section. Because if you can borrow more as a first time buyer, you'll be able to buy a better property. Middle of the road, middle class people will be able to buy better properties. Upper levels, they don't really worry about mortgages anyway. I think only 60% of them have mortgages. So it's a much easier thing. So it's going to be the whole of the upper market going up. It's a cash pump into the economy, just like the cash pump into the economy around COVID. It's just putting more money out there. Stamp duty holiday, putting more money out there. It's just ways of manipulating the market. Okay, that's it for this week. We'll be back as ever next week with more exciting episodes. And don't forget to get your property playbook. It doesn't mention Leeds United being promoted in there, and I know it should, but that's it. Property playbook, grab a copy, great reading, you'll enjoy it. Cheerio.